Hi everyone, welcome to Unexplained Talks. Today, let's talk about one of the most important ancient artifacts ever found. Have you ever heard of an ancient Greek computer? In 1901, sponge divers off the coast of Antikythera found a shipwreck. They discovered the world's oldest known analog computer, dating back to around 100 BCE. This ancient device is now known as the Antikythera Mechanism. So let's dive into this ancient relic, which still evokes mystery and wonder. What is the Antikythera Mechanism? The Antikythera Mechanism is an ancient Greek hand-powered model of the solar system. It is the oldest known example of an analog computer used to predict astronomical positions and eclipses decades in advance. However, it could also be used to monitor the 4-year cycle of Olympic-type athletic games. This ancient computer, now on display in the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. Studies suggest that it had 37 meshing bronze gears, enabling it to follow the movements, astrological events. The precision and complexity of the gears suggest a level of craftsmanship ahead of its time. In the last 2 decades, this device still baffled scientists by its design. Researchers have utilized advanced imaging techniques and 3D modeling to reconstruct the mechanism. In 2005, a team from Cardiff University used computer X-ray tomography and high-resolution scanning to image inside fragments of the crust-encased mechanism. This study unveiled details hidden within the corroded bronze. It suggested that the 37 meshing bronze gears were used to follow the movements of the moon and the sun through the zodiac, and this would predict eclipses and to model the irregular orbit of the moon, where the moon's velocity is higher in its perigee than in its apogee. This motion was studied in the 2nd century BC by astronomer Hipparchus of Rhodes, and he may have been consulted in the machine's construction. The front dial has 2 concentric circular scales. The outer scale, a movable ring that sits flush with the surface and runs in a channel, is marked off with what appear to be days, and has a series of corresponding holes beneath the ring in the channel. In the back of the mechanism, there are 5 dials, the 2 large displays, the Metonic and the Saros, and 3 smaller indicators, the so-called Olympiad dia. However, it has been renamed the Games dial, as it did not track Olympiad years, but instead the Kalipig and the Exeligmos, which are periods of years used to predict successive eclipses with similar properties and locations. This complexity is quite impressive and still wonder us today, showing that this device is a symbol of our ancient wisdom and unending quest for knowledge. The Antikythera Mechanism is a cultural phenomenon displayed in museums, documentaries, and movies. As examples, here are a few of them. In 2012, the main Antikythera shipwreck exhibition at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens. The National Geographic documentary series Naked Science dedicated an episode to the Antikythera Mechanism entitled Star Clock BC that aired on 20 January 2011. A documentary, The World's First Computer, was produced in 2012 by the Antikythera Mechanism researcher and filmmaker Tony Freeth. Finally, the film Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny 2023 features a plot around a fictionalized version of the mechanism, also referred to as Archimedes' Dial of Destiny. The Antikythera Mechanism represents what we have achieved as a civilization, which still evokes mystery and wonder. But what is still out there to be discovered?